Handful of options out there for Kirk Cousins. Many point to Arizona after Carson Palmer retired. Cardinals GM Steve Keim had this to say as they look for a starter. Quote, "We will, if we go down that path, certainly use Larry and David Johnson and all the other current stars on our roster to try to make sure any potential franchise quarterback understands that this is a special place." Fitzgerald has caught passes from 17 quarterbacks since being drafted back in 2004. Good to have NFL insider Jeff Darlington. And it looks like it's going to be an 18th different quarterback, you know, coming into this season. So what do the Cardinals, outside a bag of cash, what do they have to offer Kirk Cousins here?
Unfortunately, I don't even think a bag of cash is going to be enough to compete with some of the other suitors out there. The Arizona Cardinals have Scottsdale. That's a pretty sweet place. I'm sure Kirk would enjoy that. But they do have Larry Fitzgerald. They do have a great running back. The problem is, as Kirk Cousins looks towards his future, he wants a landing spot that he's going to spend a lot of time. Larry Fitzgerald not going to be around that much longer, at least one would think. So the problem here is that they don't have that much cap space. They have the 15th pick in the draft, so not a ton of ammo to get one of those top-tier quarterbacks in the draft. I just don't think they're going to end up with Kirk Cousins, especially when you have a suitor out there like the New York Jets, who has an offensive coordinator in Jeremy Bates, who runs his system. They have a ton of cash that they can throw out at Kirk Cousins. So personally, I think that the Arizona Cardinals, no matter how hard they might try, and I think they recognize this, Steve Keim, one of the best in the business, I just don't think Cousins is going to wind up with the Arizona Cardinals.
Let's look at some backup plans now. When you look at the quarterbacks out there potentially for the Cardinals or all the other teams that strike out in the Kirk Cousins sweepstakes.
This makes much more sense for the Cardinals, especially when we look at some of the names out there. And let's start with Sam Bradford. He's a guy with the Vikings this past year who had a great job for his first 2 games before dealing with a knee injury. You know, a team is going to not want to necessarily gamble on him. You're going to have an option there because of his injury history. But Bradford still seemingly has what it takes. So he's a guy out there that some teams like the Denver Broncos and the Arizona Cardinals could be watching. A.J. McCarron, another guy, recently found out that he won a grievance that's going to allow him to become an unrestricted free agent. This is a guy, once Kirk Cousins winds up with his team, that other teams will say, okay, maybe this is a guy we can bring in for a little less money, has some ability. The Cleveland Browns maybe get in the mix there, but they'll probably draft maybe a guy like Sam Darnold #1, so he could be an option. Finally, Teddy Bridgewater. This is the ultimate wild card here. He's not that far removed from being a future star in the NFL, but of course, dealing with that significant knee injury, that's going to cause some pause for some of these teams out there. But when you are a team like the Arizona Cardinals, who needs a quarterback to come in there, this is the kind of guy maybe you take a chance on. So again, the Cardinals are going to have some competition when it comes to getting one of these second-tier quarterbacks if it's not Kirk Cousins. But I do believe there'll be some options out there. Larry Fitzgerald, somebody will be throwing you passes. The good news, too, Steve Keim, the general manager, is one of the absolute best in the business.
It's amazing what Fitzgerald has done. But when he has a stud quarterback like we've seen with Kurt Warner and Carson Palmer.
You figure someone's going to want to go in there and throw passes to him, too.
Yes, he'll make it look good, right?
That's right.
Jeff Darlington with us this morning.
Thanks, Jeff.